I don't want to believe it. In a way, I still can't. But the evidence shows that Kaito must be the one who died. I hate it. I hate it so much. But it's the truth.
I see. If that's the conclusion you've arrived at, Shuichi, then there must be no mistake.
Then the one here is...
Heh, looks like I messed around too much.
Sorry, that was just a little joke.
What a sick joke! You're still an asshole.
True, and I can't forgive him. But we still need to stay calm, be rational. Because we need to get to the truth of Kaito's death.
Yeah! Just keep calm and carry on!
Did Monokuma finally look over at Maki? And her dangerous face?
Why are you saying that? What part of that was calm?
Oh, it was for comic relief. Got it.
Getting back on topic, why don't we examine the crossbow a little more closely? I think we need to get all the facts straight, so we don't fall for any more lies.
I agree, but... what do you think, Maki? Fine.
Okay, let's discuss that then.
Why are you acting like you're in charge of things?
So if we assume that Kaito and I shot each other with the crossbow, then the most efficient way to solve this is to set up a timeline of events.
Hey, I said, why are you...
Alrighty then! Let the debate begin! When the crossbow fired, what was even going on?
As if you need to ask, you were there! The crossbow was in Kaito's possession first. He probably fired the first shot at Kokichi too.
Then Kokichi disarmed Kaito, took the crossbow, and returned fire.
I didn't take the crossbow from Kaito. I secretly brought a different one!
But only one crossbow was taken. The other two are still in my research lab. Still, only one arrow was fired. So how could they both shoot each other?
By the way, crossbow shots hurt a lot. My wound is still aching something fierce.
Yeah, you heard that too? We've got a piece of evidence that...
When the crossbow
Oh man, this was actually difficult. I thought Maki said the one I need to go for, and then Himiko kind of dropped a bomb. That's the one I need to shoot. Also, I love this. Fire that statement. Get it out of here.
Disarmed Kaito,
Okay, took the crossbow. That's not it.
Returned fire.
Returned fire. That's very tragic.
The crossbow from Kaito.
Oh
I
wait.
secretly brought a different one.
No, you didn't. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, the only one crossbow from the lab. The other two is still in the research lab. That makes perfect sense. But right here, one arrow, bullcrap.
That's wrong!
Check it again. There are 3 arrows.
Wait, Himiko. What do you mean, one arrow?
Well, I only gave Kaito one arrow, so...
Oh no. Well, this changes a few things.
Are you positive?
Of course! There's no way I got that wrong.
Well then, that's strange, because... there were 3 arrows in the bathroom, remember?
3? I know I only gave him one! Kaito even told me to only bring him one. He said he wanted to avoid fighting.
Ooh, interesting. So Kaito secretly got 2 other arrows. That doesn't add up. Do I have to think more about this?
Maybe Kokichi had some hidden away?
Why would Kokichi have 2 arrows when he didn't have a crossbow to fire them?
He's just gonna, chuck them. Just, gotcha!
But we know for certain that 3 arrows were recovered from the scene. And all 3 arrows had blood on them.
And altogether, their clothes had 3 perforations in them. So we know for certain that they shot 3 arrows at each other.
Weird. Okay. So we need to find out where those 2 other arrows came from. I think it's time for a little brain blast. What could it be? Were they hidden up sleeves or something else? Think. This is more of a brain blast than I thought. Let's go! Yep, Psych Taxi. I figured. Ooh, look at this place. This is neat looking. Oh, they're swaying. Well, at least I still have some of the special abilities activated. And you know what? For doing Outlaw Run, I should be a master at this. I got S rank on Mean. I'm not a master at this. I've already screwed up. So how many arrows did Himiko give to Kaito? Well, that should be pretty easy, because I don't think she's lying. It wouldn't make sense for her to lie about this. So she gave Kaito a single arrow. Okay, good. Ooh, now we've got 4 lanes. Alright, next question. What could it be? As if I didn't already figure out what the game wanted me to figure out. There are, like, tons of cars out here. Oh my god. Okay, we're still good. Still good. Wait a minute. What is that I see in the frickin' road? Is that? Well, I'll be damned. It's the last hidden Monokuma of the chapter. God, that's obnoxious. And yes, that's why I ran into the car, because I had a little hint as to where that last Monokuma would be. Anyway, were all the arrows inside the hangar from the start? No. Because that would be far too convenient. What's up, baby? Last question. Let's see what we got. Ooh, these are moving fast. Too fast. Oh my god, come on. I'm trying not to run into the wall, and this is so hard to control because it's going faster. Okay, let's just... You know, I never thought an upgrade to a car would become such a detriment. But then again, it was a short statement. So who brought the 2 arrows? This is a thought I've had since pretty much the beginning. Who brought the arrows? Somebody else. A third party. Himiko brought 1 arrow, as requested. There were no other arrows inside the hangar, but somebody else brought 2 more.
It connects.
Could it be that the additional arrows were brought in by a third party?
A third party? So someone besides Kokichi or Himiko?
That's just a guess, though. There's no way a third party exists.
If a third party did exist, why would they bring 2 arrows?
Kaito was the only one with a crossbow. I made sure I handed it to him.
Kaito said he only needed 1 arrow. Clearly, he didn't want to fight.
Yeah, that's right.
So the other 2 arrows weren't for Kaito. They were for the third party to use themselves.
So the third party didn't hand the arrows through the window. Instead, they went into the hangar and shot the crossbow themselves?
Impossible. There was an alarm system and an electric barrier around the hangar.
Yeah. That hangar should have been completely closed off, right?
Oh, wait a minute. Ooh, yes, there was another way in. I mean, it's a little out there. Are we really going to do this right after a psych taxi? Yes, we are. Hangman's Gambit time. What did the third party use to enter the hangar? I see what they want me to spell immediately. It had to be an exosol. Their only way into the hangar safely.
I see now. That's it. The exosol. The exosol could be used to enter the hangar. We couldn't get in because of the alarm system and the electric barrier. But that shouldn't have been a problem for any of the exosols, right? So if you wanted to enter the hangar, all you had to do was pilot an exosol.
I saw an exosol enter the hangar last night. So was this third party piloting it?
By the way, I just want to confirm something with Monokuma. Would the alarm still go off if there was a person inside an exosol?
Well, I wasn't trying to keep this secret, but since it's about the details of the hangar, I guess I can tell you guys. It makes sense that the alarm system and electric barrier wouldn't react to an exosol. After all, the hangar is where the exosols are supposed to be stored. It'd be a hassle to disable the security every time an exosol comes and goes, you know? So even if someone is inside an exosol, the security system wouldn't catch them. Because it'd be a hassle to leave the exosol every time you have to put it away.
So it's like Shuichi said? A third party got in an exosol and entered the hangar? But can just anyone pilot an exosol?
Well, Kokichi,
It's surprisingly easy. If you use both hands, both feet, and both nipples, you can do it.
Oh, wow. I can pilot an exosol.
Nipples too!
I knew nobody else was going to react to that besides Himiko.
Anyway, this third party commandeered an exosol and infiltrated the hangar. That same person must have brought the other two arrows with them.
I told you that's impossible. There's no way you can get through security if you pilot an exosol. It's not possible.
What? Not possible.
Maki? Ooh, I just got a bad feeling. I think I might have to start suspecting someone. And it's not going to be pretty.
if someone was piloting the exosol, they could have used it to enter the hangar.
That's not possible.
Is operating the exosol really that difficult?
Do we even know how to get inside an exosol? Outside the hangar, there were 4 exosols. And they were all moving, too.
I was controlling them remotely.
Electro hammers weren't an option. Yesterday, all the hammers were still recharging.
There's no way to stop an exosol. so getting inside one would have been impossible.
You're right, it's impossible!
Okay. It's not impossible. There's one way to stop an exosol. I just threw a pencil. Sorry if you heard that. Yeah, I understand what we need to find here. No, not enter the hangar. It was actually further on, and Kibo said it.
Really that difficult?
There is a way to stop an exosol. It's very risky because you're fighting a giant robot.
Inside the hangar, there were 4 exosols.
Yeah, there were 4 exosols. That makes sense. They were around Monokuma for some reason. Not controlling them remotely, that makes sense. Here we go. They were an option because somebody didn't listen.
That's wrong! Wait, not all of the electro hammers were being charged. I know because I found one.
You know, I just had an idea for a back door, and I want to see if I'm right. And this actually took place right near the very end, and Maki said it, so I want to see if I'm actually right. I'm gonna skip on through. If we actually try to lie and say that there was an easier way into the exosol, I think that would be hilarious, and then Shuichi would have to prove it. So, I'm actually curious, and by the way, I love the detail of the statements being hammers. There's no way to stop an exosol, except getting into one would have been impossible. I don't think so. What if it was just a padlock?
I'll reveal the truth. While investigating the exosols, I noticed that they have no locks on their cockpit hatches.
Or if, yeah, you could just, you know, push a button and it pops open for you.
It should have been possible to get into the cockpit, providing they could reach it.
But that's reckless, absurd, and useless. Jump inside a moving exosol? That's not really possible.
No, I think it is. You would need to be quick, agile, athletic, and stealthy. I can think of at least one person who fits that description.
What? Are you implying that it's...
Oh, I see. And since he's a robot, he could have some robo-communication function.
Kokichi, I just think you saved my life.
Huh? Was that directed at me?
Come on, Kibo, I know you're a little above average.
As I said, my speed, agility, and strength are equal to that of a human, if not weaker.
I'm trying to put you on a pedestal, man, and you're making yourself look terrible.
So I cannot fight an exosol, and I certainly cannot communicate with one.
The selling point of being a robot is being good in combat, but... Poor Kibo.
Please don't act like I drew the short straw.
But you did! You were literally telling us every single time that you drew the short straw!
Stop this pointless conversation, Shuichi. If you want to say something, say it already.
Maki, just to confirm. As the ultimate assassin, you would be able to jump into that exosol, correct?
Impossible. If I could do that, I would have turned the exosol into scrap on the first day.
Maybe. Unless you were hiding your true potential, in which case...
Stop messing around. Are you telling me to prove something I can't do? Do you really suspect me that much?
No, actually. I'm trying to find a way to prove that you couldn't be the intruder.
Fine then. I'll explain. There was another problem that doesn't involve my talent. You said earlier that the hatch doesn't have a lock, but that's incorrect. The exosol's hatch has an electric lock, so it can't be opened from the outside.
What?
An electronic lock?
Yes. You can't open the hatch from the outside. It's impossible to get into the cockpit. Satisfied now?
I like our backwards thinking in order to get her to admit that. But that doesn't take her out. Yep. And now we have to point a finger at you.
How do you know there's an electronic lock on the Exosoul's hatch?
Sorry in advance?
Because I checked it during the investigation.
That can't be true. I'm the only person Monokuma told about those locks.
Just you? I see. If that's the case. Then you lied just to confirm if I knew about the electronic lock.
Guilty as charged.
Yes, I did. And I'm sorry. I thought you were hiding something from me, Maki. I was confirming my suspicion. Now please, tell us the truth. How do you know about the hatch?
When Monokuma explained it to you, I just happened to overhear it, that's all.
You're lying, Maki. You know about the locks because you've been inside one of the cockpits.
So annoying. Do you want to die? You're the one who's lying.
Huh? That's a suspicious thing to say. Are you actually the culprit, Maki?
Either way, there's an electronic lock so you can't open the hatch from the outside. Because of that, no one could have entered the hangar piloting an exosol.
Okay, I guess we have to say it. Push forward.
Maki's saying it's impossible, but there is a way to open the hatch. Oh, you mean with your magic, right?
Magic!
I won't say such a lame thing anymore. I can't stay a dreamer forever.
It was at this moment that Himiko finally grew up. Round of applause, everyone! Round of applause! Congratulations, Himiko! You're no longer delusional!
That lock is electronic, so won't an electro hammer work on it? That would let you stop an exosol and open its hatch. Of course, my magic is also an option.
The dream is dead!
A dreamer to the end, huh?
True, with an electro hammer, that method might be possible. But the electro hammers were recharging yesterday, so entering an exosol would be...
Wait. Not all of the electro hammers were being charged. I know because I found one. There was a used electro hammer near Monokuma and the exosols.
Is that electro hammer used by the third party? Maybe they used it to disable an exosol!
Yes, I think so. When I saw them last afternoon, there were 4 exosols. But this morning, there were only 3.
I noticed that too. Was the missing exosol taken by this third party?
Shuichi is getting warmer. How about you say the answer right now? Who did it? Who is this third party?
Well... if you really must know... I think I got it. It was pretty obvious from the start. Especially when we started our raid. Somebody was able to get into an exosol. Somebody used their hammer. Who could it have been? Yep. The third party. Is you. You didn't have your hammer the morning of the raid. And I'm sorry to say, you've been acting so suspicious that I kind of have to point my finger. And, I'm very, very sorry.
It's you! Maki, you're the third party we're looking for, aren't you?
What? It's Maki?
What are you saying?
Remember what Kokichi said.
It runs out of juice real quick. The bigger the target, the more juice. And an exosol would take an entire hammer.
The electro hammer needs to be recharged for 24 hours after it runs out of battery. That hammer was used last afternoon, so it couldn't have been used this morning.
Oh, right. When we were all gathered in the dining hall this morning, Maki was the only one without an electro hammer, wasn't she?
Knowing that, the electro hammer I found could only have belonged to Maki. And that leads me to the conclusion that Maki must be the third party. She also knows how to assemble the crossbow and could have returned it to her lab later.
You brought a different crossbow than the one Kaito had, right?
Maki took 2 arrows and her own crossbow from her lab, disabled the exosol with an electro hammer, and infiltrated the hangar. Now we just have to figure out what happened after—
I'll kill your logic. Why are you doing this?
Because I have to.
Why are you getting in my way?
Because I have to.
Getting in your way? Maki, what are you—
Yes, I'm the third party.
Huh?
I admit to going into the hangar with an exosol, and then shooting the crossbow. I didn't kill anyone. I'm not the culprit!
Is this actual desperation I'm hearing? Oh, shit!
You're right. I used the electro hammer, and I used the exosol to enter the hangar too. I also shot the crossbow there. However, I am not the culprit. Because the crossbow is not the murder weapon.
Oh, wow. Those statements are actually going pretty quick, so let's try again.
You're right. I used the electro hammer, and I used the exosol to enter the hangar too. I also shot the crossbow there. However, I am not the culprit. Because the crossbow is not the murder weapon.
The crossbow is not the murder weapon? What do you mean?
The arrows left holes in their clothes. Think about the locations of the wounds. They were on his arm and back. An arrow to each of those spots wouldn't result in a fatal injury.
I'll cut through your words! It wouldn't matter where the arrow hit if it were poisoned.
Poison?
I noticed something about the poison in my lab during the investigation. There was just a little less in the bottle than before. If that poison had been applied to those arrows, they would have been lethal, no matter where they connected.
Maki, do you have a rebuttal?
What's the matter? Why don't you say anything? tell me. Are you really the culprit?
There's no way she is! 'Cause why would she kill Kaito?
Oh my fucking god. I just had a theory pop in my head that makes me so sad. Uh-oh.
I can't understand if you don't explain anything!
Maki is still fighting.
Huh? Fighting?
Do you remember that Maki said she would do anything to defeat Kokichi? Maki is trying to kill Kokichi in this class trial. She wants to kill the mastermind, a remnant of despair.
Then when Maki said she would sacrifice anything, she meant...
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. She was willing to get rid of all of us.
That's it! She plans to sacrifice all of our lives in order to kill Kokichi.
Sacrifice us?
Then, by hiding the truth, Maki was trying to get us to arrive at the wrong answer. Just to kill Kokichi and the rest of us along with him?
Doesn't that mean that Maki's the culprit?
She knew what happened and tried to hide it from us.
But that mischievous plan was ruined, all thanks to Shuichi here. Too bad, Maki. I already predicted this would happen.
You knew all along that Maki was the culprit. That's why you've been so calm.
This isn't over. Maybe we do have the truth now, but this isn't over. We have a choice to make. We don't have to follow where the evidence leads.
Huh? What do you mean?
Does this mean you're gonna vote for someone else, even if it's not the truth?
Someone else? You mean vote incorrectly on purpose?
What did you say?
Kaito told me that only I would be able to grasp what lies beyond the truth. That means finding the truth is not enough. We need to grasp the hope just beyond it. So Maki, please tell us the truth. The truth that only you know.
So Kaito said that to you. Then, does that mean you guys made up before he died?
Yes. Yes, we did.
Yeah, when I went to see him yesterday.
I see.
No regrets.
Okay, I'll talk about it. Especially since it's my responsibility for involving everyone. Shuichi, you're so persistent. Were you always like that?
You think so? Maybe Kaito's charisma is starting to rub off on me.
Or there's somebody in an alternate dimension controlling what I do and helps me find the truth.
That guy could be pretty stubborn.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could.
Then, what really happened?
Maki, please tell us.
Please.
And so, Maki began telling the truth. A truth that would leave us all in shock.
Don't just start narrating things, you're ruining the mood!
Monokuma, did you take my job?
Well, I guess this turn of events isn't exactly boring either.
Oh, of course. Alright, until next time.